Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformations. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
Good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. I'm your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and author, Sean Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 74 countries. So whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to us for some time, I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here, we tell the stories of why we're doing what we're doing. We highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we use it to then transform others and elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, Tuesday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. However, today I want to bring on a very special guest for a very special episode on this Monday, August the 19th, 2019. You can join our Facebook community, Life Transformation Radio Community, and never miss an episode by subscribing wherever you're comfortable listening to podcasts. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Radio Public, Overcast, CastBox, Himalaya app, and the Google Play Music app. Wherever you're comfortable listening to podcasts, please subscribe to our show. On the show, my guests are entrepreneurs, speakers, business owners, coaches, podcasters, authors, basically amazing people who are impacting the world around them. And my guest today has done exactly that. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show during our live broadcast, call us up at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. We'd love to answer any questions that you may have during our show. And with that, please help me welcome to the show my guest for today, Regina Gulbinas. Regina, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Hi, Sean. I am thrilled to be here, and I'm thrilled to connect with your audience and hopefully give them value to their companies.
Awesome. I really appreciate you coming on the show. This is going to be an awesome episode. I've been really looking forward to this. You've done amazing things in the entrepreneur world and the businesses that you've helped build and create and grow and scale. And that's what everyone wants. I don't think anybody starts a business just to be mediocre, right? Just to fail, or they always want to grow. They always want to scale. They want to become a millionaire. And you know how to do that. You have done that with people that you've worked with, and I'm excited to dive into that and find out how.
And I'm actually, very much looking forward to sharing, because I'm seeing a lot of people starting the businesses, and I'm seeing a lot of mistakes that people do along the way. I've reorganized so many companies in the last 17 years, and I know exactly what works, what doesn't. And there are so many people now stepping into the position of a CEO and entrepreneur, and the mistakes kind of continue along the way, and they're basic across the board from my experience and what I'm noticing. So I would love to dive in and answer any questions you may have that I can help.
Perfect. The title of this episode is Long-Term Success and Profitability with business coach Regina Gulbinas. She has worked with over 100 companies, each generating anywhere from $2 to $20 million in gross annual revenue. Her objective was to teach the CEO and management how to properly navigate every aspect of all areas within the company. Regina's function was to reorganize the CEO themselves, basically taking the driver's seat, teaching the CEO how to run and grow their company correctly, improving their cash flow. Her focus has now gone from helping reorganize companies to helping CEOs and entrepreneurs avoid those mistakes and decisions, which brings them to financial chaos and catastrophic failure. Regina's true passion lies in helping companies grow correctly to ensure long-term success and profitability, and to inspire and guide them to achieve their absolute highest potential. You can connect with Regina on Facebook right there in the show note. Click the link, send her a message, and let her know that you heard her right here on Life Transformation Radio. And with that, Regina, my first question for you is why? What is your why for what you do?
With everything I've done, that is absolutely my favorite question, because I wish the same for everybody. I believe beyond the shadow of a doubt, zero doubt in my life, that I was created for a purpose to serve other people and to help. There is no doubt. I feel like I'm in my element when I'm being of service. My biggest challenge at the beginning, earlier stages of my career, was I knew I was supposed to be of service and help, but I didn't know how, because there's so many ways that we can actually reach people and help them grow and enrich their lives. And I just happened to kind of step into the business of corporate reorganizing. And the moment I did, it all connected. And I've been extremely blessed to live within my purpose, which is helping people, keeping their companies together, keeping the families together, keeping employees employed, and all of these things. So my biggest why is to be of service to other people, and to be able to do it at this scale, to look back and know that my why has helped over 100 companies, because there's so many people that are involved and attached to each company that's actually out there. So it's not just 100 companies, it's tens of thousands of people, employees, families, and all that. And to have a why that big and to actually find it, it's beyond anything I can honestly put into words, but that is the why.
I love it. And I love how you had to reorganize the CEO and focus on the business, but it was really like reorganizing the CEO. That must have been tough, because, who am I, Sean, to go into reorganize a business or to grow somebody's business, or like, who is Regina, who is Steve or Haley or whoever, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
It's always tough going in, because that CEO thinks that I've got this down. I've got it all figured out. I know what I'm doing. Well, no, because if you did, you wouldn't be calling us. You wouldn't be, right? You wouldn't be focusing on us. If you had it all figured out, you wouldn't need a coach. So talk about that. What's it like going into a business and quickly finding out and then having to explain to that CEO, like, your business isn't that bad, but it's you. I got to reorganize you.
Well, here's the thing. Keep in mind, I'm 41. I started when I was 24, and I don't have formal education. God has really put the tools in me to help people, and to have the tools and abilities that I'm so blessed to have. No formal education, barely navigating my life through high school and a 2-year college, because I just didn't like school. I did not see how I could apply it in my life.
Right.
I did not see how a basic math class would help me, move my life. I just did not understand the value of that education in real life, because I grew up around businesses because of my grandfather. So it didn't connect. So I just wanted to get out there. So I'm coming on board at 24, still, almost 20 years ago, still mostly male CEOs, and I am trying to tell them what to do. So that did not go well. However, people have an interesting ability to shut up and listen when they're out of juice, when they're hit rock bottom and the family's falling apart. Now, keep in mind, when the business is ready to shut its doors, people think, okay, they closed their doors, they walked away. The reality is they're millions of dollars in debt. Their house is mortgaged out. The college funds for their kids is depleted. They have hard money loans on their books. So it's not that they're closing. They're failing at a very high rate of failure, very expensive. And just because you shut the doors, the creditors don't stop coming after you, because a lot of CEOs do personal guarantees, which I would never advise my customers to do.
Okay.
So when people fail, it's not just that, but when they come to that point, when they're one foot out the door, so to speak, and they're about to close their doors, they're more willing to listen because they're so afraid. They're so driven by fear. They'll take any advice that will buy them an extra 5 minutes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of allowed me to educate them and teach them along the way. But the hardest part is, people are people, and people are not easy. and you're right. When you
Right.
tell somebody, people are very difficult. And it is true. Reorganizing a company is really just a collection of a decision a CEO makes. People think it's like a separate entity. Well, legally it's a separate entity, but somebody's responsible for the decision-making process that bleeds into the bottom line. It's a fact. So yes, to reorganize a company, you have to reorganize the person. If their thinking doesn't change, if I help them today and I get their head above water and we're back to making millions and we're profitable, if I walk away and their decision-making process has not changed, they're going exactly where I found them. They're going right back to the bottom because they're still making the same decision.
Wow, that's massive value right there. It's kind of like insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
Yep.
And it's 100% true. If you don't stop making those stupid decisions, if you don't stop, what got you into this mess, if you keep on doing that, it's like you keep going through the same, because you're not learning. You keep on failing over and over and over and over and over again because you're not learning the lesson. So you keep on having to repeat the test over and over and over again because you didn't learn your lesson. And oh my gosh, that's so huge. I'm a big proponent of I'll continue failing at the same thing for at least like 3 to 6 months, because I don't believe that I'm just going to try it for 1 week and it didn't work. Got to change tactics. You got to let it. You got to kind of let it, play itself out. So I do it for about 3 to 6 months, and if I see no traction, if I'm going backwards, if I didn't get the targeted result that I want, I'm changing tactics. I might do the opposite of what I did. I might shift left or shift right or go up or zig instead of zag, like whatever you want to call it. I will change something so that I get that targeted result. And then once I start getting the result that I want, then I start doubling down on that one thing. And it's served me well so far. It's really served me well. Knowing that, it's not working, give up. Like, change tactics, right? Like, you got to shift because it's obviously not working. So talk about that transformation that one goes through. The show here, Life Transformation Radio, is all about our transformation and the transformations that we get for other people. Talk about that. What was your transformation going into what you're doing, and the transformation that you see the CEOs going through?
Well, my personal transformation, again, going back to the point that I started so young, I had to learn the responsibility, because people just say, well, a life coach, a business mentor, and there's so many of them out there. But here's the analogy that I use. As a life and business strategist, I am crystal clear on one fact, that when people hand me over their life and their company, it's kind of like them saying, here, hold my child for me, because it's not just something they woke up one morning and decided to open a business. It's something extremely precious to them. They've spent they're invested their life, or maybe their life savings into opening this business, or they've spent countless sleepless nights forming the idea. So it's been a long journey for them to come to this beautiful idea that they've had to open a business to begin with. So it took me a few minutes, my personal transformation, to really understand the responsibility. When somebody says, help me with my life and help me with my business, the importance of somebody saying, help me with my life, help me be better, help me be more. So I had to go through my own growth, obviously, and I learn every single day. The transformation for the individual is really rewiring their thought process. And that is the biggest challenge because, especially if it's somebody older, 50s, 60s, they're very set in their ways. If they're failing at that age, it's very difficult. It's very difficult for them to change. It's very difficult for them to, first of all, to accept that they need to change. So it's baby steps along the way. But I have to tell you, I've seen some people that have made such a massive turn in their life, and the yield from that was exponential, how it touched every aspect of their life. So a business is just a byproduct, like I said, of their decisions. So once they accept the responsibility of their life, once they say, I want to transform, you just see a light come on, and it's something that immediately starts to affect every area of their life, their personal, their business, their friendships, their love with their spouse, their children. It just touches everything because they become something else. But only very few, because it's a conscious decision that takes you to a place where you say, I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want something different. I've spent my life doing something that doesn't work. It's yielded me nothing but chaos. But the very first step is to actually be able to acknowledge to your own self and be transparent with yourself and say, look, everything I've done just doesn't work. It's cost me money. It's cost me people. It's cost me friendships. It's cost me chaos. I've lost. I mean, you have to be able to acknowledge that within yourself, and then the transformation starts. And those that have allowed me to walk the path with them, you just see the yield in their life. And it's instant because they start to instantly make better and different decisions along the way, every step, every minute by minute. And it's a minute by minute process.
Sure. Oh, that makes so much sense. And I like what you said about that is it has to start within them. You can't make them, right? But it just has to start. But then you see it grow into other areas of their life. Mm-hmm. And I love that. There's a saying that how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes, and I use it. This is the same but different. Everything is everything. People try to kind of piece their life together, and this compartment. But the truth is, it's all one box. It's all one drawer. It's all you. And when people realize it, and something else, somebody told me years ago, which was really hard for me to process because it was so much younger when they said it. They said, when you can stand in front of the wall of your own demons and deal with them one by one, kind of pluck away at that and deal with them one by one, all the stuff you've ever done, you should have done, you shouldn't have done, everything you said, you didn't say. When you can stand in front of the wall of your own demons and deal with them one by one until there's nothing left, that's when you get your rite of passage. And it hit me when I was later, but it was huge for me once I got my head around it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So I want to talk about and move forward in how you elevate the world around you. What is, I mean, you don't have to go like super deep, but how is it that people connect with you and then you work with them? If somebody listening right now says, you know what, I've got about 5 million in revenue, 10 million in revenue. I feel like I'm failing. I need her. What is it that makes you different than everybody else? How are you connecting with that business owner and doing business with them? How did you carve out your market? Hello? Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay, sorry.
So the connection for me is, and I've noticed from watching a lot of mentors that the main key point that's missing, people are very focused on the mechanical side of the coin. They're focused on coming in, here are the problems, here's the solution, boom, 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 let's go. But the organic side of the coin is the missing piece. you have to, when I talk to an individual, when I talk to the CEO, whether they're failing or growing their business, I first connect to the individual. It doesn't matter if I can help the company, if I know what to do. If I do not connect to the individual, if I don't connect to the CEO, if I don't speak their language, if I can't meet them exactly where they're at on their path of life, I will not be able to help them. They will not open up and allow me in completely and fully so I can help them entirely with their life and their business. So when people talk to me, I don't care who they are, what the state of the company is, what their life is all about. When they talk to me, they know that I hear them. They know that I see them. They know that I talk to them exactly from the point in their life where they're at, not where they should be. And it's a very respectful relationship. Sean, I always believe, because I've seen it over so many times over almost 2 decades, that everything, the money, the success, everything is in the relationships we're managing to build with people. Money is just a byproduct. Money is very organic. If we don't have the relationships, money is not going to follow. You're always going to chase your tail. So when people talk to me, the biggest component is they know that I hear them. They know that I respect them, whether the company's failing or not. There is never any judgment. And they hear from me complete and total love and support towards what they're doing. Because when people are kind of going down financially, it's a hard place. You have to be able to hear them and be very sensitive. For men, it's even more difficult. Their ego is at play, and it's much easier for women to ask for help than for men. So when I talk to men, I'm even more aware of it. I never forget that I'm talking to somebody who's going through a hard time. So it's not about just the solutions. Solutions come second. It's the person. I come at the person.
Wow. I wish more people were like that. Most of them are chasing dollars. Most of them are like, oh, yeah, I can help you. I know it's coming from an ego standpoint. You know, they know what they can do. They think they're the greatest. I love to make people happy in business. That's what I love. Like if I can take them from where they are, whether they're starting or they're a couple years in, whatever. If I can take them from just where they are and then move them towards that path of success. Like we've laid the groundwork, we've laid the foundation, right? Now it's up to them. They have all of the tools that they need. Now it's up to them. And it's like guiding, by taking the training wheels off. I got the back of the seat, but you got to do the pedaling, but I've got the back of the seat. And then once you let go and you see them go off and you're like, there they go. And they're like super successful. That's such a great feeling. Oh my God, such a great feeling.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you almost want to stand up and go, look what I just did. Like you just feel amazing. Yeah. Like that's what brings my life value. When I work with people and they tell me like, man, I just got this media. Oh my God, I just started my podcast. I just got booked here. I just got this. Oh man, I just got this revenue. And they're excited to tell me these things. I'm like, hell yeah. Like it's a win for me inside. It's a win for me spiritually. Do you feel that way when you're in it? It's tough when you're in it. But when you step back and they're like, oh my gosh, Regina, like check out what just happened and we're getting profitable and oh my God, and they're like super happy. It kind of gets you fired up, doesn't it?
It gets me fired up, and it touches the core of my purpose as well, because when my CEOs tell me we had a huge win, we're getting profitable, I never see it's one CEO. I instantly see the kids, the family, the wife, the husband, the employees that are attached to the company, their families. It's so much bigger for me. So to know that I've assisted in making such an impact, I'm telling you, it feeds me as a human being. I feel like I'm living a life worth living. There is a purpose.
Ooh.
When I see these, it goes from shutting its doors, millions of dollars in debt, to we have money in the bank and we can give bonuses to our employees, and my marriage is not going to fall apart. So there's so much more attached to it. But the biggest win for me, the absolute biggest win for me is when I walk away from a company, and because some people want to stay for a year, some people want to stay for 10, everybody has a decision to make. But when I walk away and I see that they continue to make the right decisions, profitable decisions without me there, that's how I knew I made a difference. That's how I knew the person has actually changed, because I'm no longer the safety net and the voice of reason on the side, that they can really walk and ride that bicycle by themselves without me. That to me is a win. I've changed the course of a life.
Oh, I love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. I feel exactly the same way. Put smiles on my faces, and it gives me energy. It gives me life. It gives me purpose. Like, I derive value from other people's successes, and sometimes it's not like that. There's a couple ways to build. One of the ways that I see people build is by tearing down other people around them so that they become the best, or they become the biggest. And I see that a lot, and it's so terrible. They're tearing down, like, oh, that person sucks and they're not the best. I'm the best, and they're trying to tear people down around them. And I see that, I'm like, ugh, and it's cutthroat. Like, some business is it's cutthroat.
It's cutthroat, and somebody told me something once a long time ago, which really stuck with me. I mean, really stuck with me. And as I'm watching exactly happen what you're saying, is somebody said to me, if somebody's ever going to fail, they don't need your help. They will do just fine on their own. So when I see people, badmouth one another and try to take each other down, there is no need for that. If somebody's not qualified to do the job, it will show its face. There is no need for other people to get involved and kind of rip each other apart. They're doing that. And more I'm seeing now, especially on social media, and I agree with you, it should be a community effort instead of a one-man show. This has to be a community effort, whatever industry you're in. It's because It's much better to work with people than not.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. So here's what I want to do. I want to do a shameless plug. You can plug your programs, products, services, websites, ways to connect with you, whatever it is that you want the audience to know and to do. Shamelessly plug. Go.
Oh, thanks. Well, first of all, this is only targeted at the coaching industry. So I just launched, perfect timing actually for the interview. I just launched a beta launch for 12 people maximum. And the price is 60% off because it's beta launch, because I need everybody's feedback and massive involvement. It's going to be a 10 to 12 week program, and we're going to build out your offers, your value ladder, your coaching, your digital course for those that actually have it. And part of the beta is I'm doing one-on-one coaching calls with every individual every other week, which is not going to be offered when it goes to the public, when it's going to be more on sale for the masses, which is going to be in about 3-4 months from now. And there's so much more. I have experts coming on to speak every single week on every subject that will be related to the coaching industry. And there's much more value. So if you're interested in that, the link to my Facebook is in the show notes. You guys are welcome to click and message me in private, and I can give you more information. But those are just the few points on that. And if you guys need a life and business strategist, I'm very particular who I work with, and here's why. I am selective because I need to know that you care about your success, you care about your life, and you have a mission behind you have a mission and a purpose behind your vision. If you're just working to make money, I'm not really good at helping companies like that. I'm good at helping people that want to change, they want to make an impact, that they want to grow, and they have a purpose. They have a purpose for growing in their business. And so if you guys are looking for a life and business strategist, or interested in the beta launch that I'm doing right now, and we're starting on September 2nd. We're doing our first class. I'm looking at September 2nd. So if you guys are interested, just send me a message on both of those.
Perfect. I love it. As we start to wrap up and close the show, give us a nugget of knowledge that will motivate, transcend, and inspire someone to take action today.
What a good question. And one of my favorite phrases that keeps me up every single morning and keeps me pushing is, life is not a dress rehearsal. It is the main performance. And let me expand on that a little bit. Everybody acts like there is another one after this one. Everybody acts like when this life is over, we get another one here on earth, and we'll be able to assess our wins and failures and go back out there and reenact. This is the main performance. This is not a dress rehearsal. There is no other one after you guys are done with this. So I ask and I urge and I beg and plead with everybody who's listening now or later that reevaluate where you're at. Are you out on the stage of life and you're acting your heart out? So when that curtain goes down, you have a standing ovation. You look back at your life and you're not staring at a pile of regrets and list of things you didn't do because you were afraid or for whatever reason. Or is the curtain going down and you know that you've never even got on that stage of life to begin with, because of a million reasons you had why it's not the right time, or you don't have the right people, you don't have the right staff, the right support. The list is a mile long. So don't treat this like there is a second chance. Every day that goes by is the every day that's gone by. And do not allow anything to stop you. If I was supposed to be held up in the 12th grade in school, not because I wasn't smart. I was very smart because I did not do the work. And with all of that, I managed to be here and saved tens of thousands of jobs and generated hundreds of millions of dollars for companies and make so many people profitable. There is zero reason why any one of you out there should not even exceed what I've done. There is zero reason. But if you remember anything I've said, from anything I've said to this whole interview, is just this phrase: life is not a dress rehearsal. This is the main performance. And get on the stage of life and act your heart out. Just so when that curtain goes down, you lived it. You lived it, and you have a list of things you've done, and you leave a legacy. Your kids, your grandkids look back and say, this is what my fill in the blank did. This is what they did, and this is what I want to do. Because you can't, your decisions of being hungry for life will impact the bloodline that follows. It does. And you get to decide how it impacts the bloodline.
Yeah, we could have a whole show just based on generational curses and generational blessings. Like, I'm not even joking.
Yeah, no, it's very true. We just think I'm doing it for now for my kids. The truth is no, because I teach my kids, your kids teach you, and then they're going to teach based on how they observed you and myself act, and so on and so forth. We are affecting bloodlines to follow, and people have to be aware of the truth of what it is.
Oh, absolutely. My 16-year-old has a job, and I had him read The Richest Man in Babylon. And he's like, why do I gotta pay myself? Like, I don't understand. Like you pay yourself first. Like you're getting paid, but it's more of an investment. So you have to pay yourself first before you pay everybody else. And 100%. Then I had him read the book to understand why. And even I've read the book, and I'm like, well, I mean, why wouldn't I get the leftovers? Like, why didn't I get the, make sure everything else is paid? But there's all kinds of lessons in there. And what you're saying, like, this is like the stage of life, if you will. Now, I believe, just because I'm a Christian and there's other, life of eternities and, different things, but totally get what you're saying. Like, this is it. We got one life. Whether you believe in reincarnation or whatever, that doesn't matter. This is one life. And a lot of people are like, you only live once. Like, I've heard people say, you only live once. You only live one time, right? The counter argument to that is you only die one time, but you get a chance to live every single day. So treat every day as your last. Now, I've heard that argument, right? But it still says the same thing. This is it. Do it now, because today might be your last day. And what you're saying, when that curtain goes down, it could be 5 minutes from now. It could be 5 years, 50 years, 100 years. Who knows? When that curtain goes down, are you going to look back and have a bunch of regret, or are you going to get a standing ovation? I want a standing ovation for my life when I'm done.
Absolutely, and like you said, we get a chance every day. The truth is, the blessing. I'm a Christian as well, so I'm completely lining up with what you're saying. But the truth is, we do have the luxury of choosing every single day, and people make the weirdest choices, if you ask me, because the clock is ticking on their life, and sometimes you're like,
Right.
really, of all the things you could have done today, that's how you choose to spend your time. And
100%.
and it just blows your mind. And people are, I don't, yeah, I mean, there's so many things we can do, and they're good, and they're good. And the truth is, you feel good when you do certain things, and the harder the things, the better you feel after the fact.
Yep.
The harder the things you have to do, and people just make, people are people. We got to make choices, and we have the ability to do them. We're wired for that. We're the only creature on the planet that actually has the ability to change the course of our life and actually process it and navigate our own selves through our existence here on Earth. But yeah,
Right.
people people are people. I've seen it all, to be honest with you, after so many people. So I don't. It's a whole different show. After so many people, I've seen it everything you can imagine.
Right. So
Yeah.
if somebody listening right now wants to work with you, what is the best way for them to contact you and have that call with you?
Two things. They can just through my social media, through a personal Facebook page, which is the link. That's how my last three clients in the last month found me somehow. But so I do
Heck
respond to
yeah.
all the messages myself. Yep, I respond to all the
Probably from all
messages
the
myself.
podcasts you've been on. I promise you, it's probably from all the podcasts you've been on.
Possibly. I've been doing, you're right. I've been doing a lot. So yes, yes. So personal Facebook, yes, I connect everything to that. My website is just my first and last name, reginagulbinas.com. But the best and quickest way is just send me a personal message. Everything is private. Everything is confidential. When you reach out and when we get on the phone, and I'm happy to help. Yeah, I'm happy to be of service. Absolutely.
Awesome. Perfect. Regina, it has absolutely been an honor and a pleasure to have you on Life Transformation Radio. And I cannot wait to see what the rest of 2018 has in store for you. And you're crushing it, in the small amount of time that we've known each other. You're one of those go-getters. You're one not to wait. You're not the one to, I'll just push it off to tomorrow. Like, you get stuff done, and I love it. And I can't wait to see what the rest of 2019 has for you.
Thank you, Sean. This was a pleasure, and I enjoyed it.
Life Transformation Radio listeners, an amazing guest impacting the world around her. If anything resonated with you today, please connect with Regina on Facebook and let her know that you heard her right here on Life Transformation Radio. If you're listening, wherever you're listening from, and you enjoy the show, please subscribe wherever it is that you are currently listening to podcasts. We ask you to subscribe. And if you want, leave us a rating or review to let us know how well we're doing. And with that, as we close the show, I always say, live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart. And I call this living your brand. So until next episode, live a great life.